All right, we are live, and this is Richie Contartesi coming to you live from beautiful and sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, with another episode of SalesPreneur. And today is a really, really exciting one. I'm going to see if we'll give a minute for people to hop on. Hi, Madeline. What's up? I want to give a minute for this one because starting this one out is like really, really important, what I say in the beginning. And as I went through this, I had an amazing experience this past weekend. And I'm actually representing the gym and the shirt, not the new ones, but had a really good experience that changed a lot of the way I think about sales and the process and how it works. And making the mistake of mixing relationship building, selling, and closing. And it's a mistake that most salespeople make. It's a really big mistake, and it crushes the sale every single time. And I learned that quite a bit. So, all right, what's up, Emily? Okay, so any questions or comments as I go through this, because this is like really, really important, definitely leave them below. I don't know how many more days I am going to be able. Oh, thanks, Emily. I appreciate it. I really don't know how many days. I think we're getting really close on this maternity thing. So it could be any day. Like her due date's Wednesday, but I think at this point it's like any day. So I'm going to continue to do these as much as I can. But if something happens, if I'm not here, you'll know exactly why. So, okay. So everything that I talk about from this point on is all about individuals who are, you already know that they're qualified, they're highly qualified, they're leads, they're somebody who could potentially buy your service, buy your product, and they're qualified. Like they can afford it, they want it, they need it, and we just are talking about from building a relationship all the way through closing. And so I had our grand opening party this Saturday night, and before the party, we were talking about signing up all of these new members, right? Like, so the party was a grand opening. We had, all these people that RSVP'd. We had ran ads. We knew there was going to be quite a few people there. And so we wanted to have this grand opening special so that people could sign up. And so our business coach shows up and he's like, "You're not signing people up, right?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, you're not going to be signing people up at the grand opening party. And I was like, "Well, why not?" And he's like, "You're making a huge mistake if you're signing people up at this party." And so I was like, "Explain." And so he's like, "This party is all about building relationships. This party is all about showing people your brand. This party is about creating the environment that you want the members of your gym to have and that you've been giving to the members of your gym." And I was like, "Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense, but why wouldn't we sign people up?" He's like, "That's not what this environment is for. You're making a huge mistake of mixing selling, building relationships." And so I was like, I really thought about it, and I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. We were mixing building relationships potentially with selling, potentially with closing. And I was like, okay, so explain to me why we wouldn't mix these, because I think we should. And we kind of butt heads a little bit, but he explained his process and I agreed. So I'm going to walk through that today. I think it's critical in any environment, in any type of situation where you have a product, a service, an idea that you're selling. If you mix these three, you're going to blow the sale every time. And this was very apparent to me, and I learned a huge lesson this weekend. So first of all, consumers today are more educated than ever before because of the internet, because of the access of information. People know more now than ever before they even talk to you most of the time. So that has to change the way we think, the way that we process information, the way that we share what we have, right? Pressure sales obviously do not work anymore. If you've been around this for at least the last 2 years, you know that pressuring people is just not going to work. There's a way to solve that, and I'm going to share that with you, where you never have to pressure anybody ever again, because you're going to have the right system, the right information, the right website, the right stuff out there, so you never have to do that. People want today more of a one-on-one coaching type support or consultative type support. So as a sales individual, think of yourself as more of a coach or a consultant than a sales rep or a biz dev rep. That's not what you are. What you are today, because of information, because someone can go to YouTube and get the information you're going to give. Because of that, we have to be more of a coach to their particular life, to their situation, to their problems, and how we can solve them. We have to provide them content, videos, information, and when we're one-on-one over the phone, we have to get them from their problem to their answer, to the solution that we have for them in that period of time. And so there's three aspects of this. A lot of people say there's selling and there's closing. A lot of people just say selling. I think there's three. There's building relationships, there's selling, and there's closing, right? And that's why when it comes to the coaching part, the consultative part, that is the relationship building. When I say relationship building, I'm not talking about spending all this time finding out about their family and their occupation, their relationships, their recreational stuff, their family stuff, finding all this. That's not what I'm referring to. Most people today, unless you're in certain parts of the country where people are just like, they are very just like, want to share their personal stuff. There are areas of the country, especially the Midwest, in certain areas like that where that stuff's okay. But most people, especially if you're in the East Coast, the Northeast, people want when you ask somebody questions like, oh, well, do you have any kids and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's okay. But most of the time people will see right through that you're just trying to build rapport. And that's what people will think of it. And that's what I think of it. When people start asking me stuff like that, I'm like, here we go, trying to build rapport with me. So when we talk about building relationships, we're talking about finding out about their current problem that your product, your service can solve for them. That's relationship building. Finding out a way to help them. Finding out a way that you can provide them value in the form of consulting, in the form of coaching, whatever that looks like for your business, but finding a way to help them meet their needs, meet their wants, meet their goals, right? So it's not about their kids, it's about their needs and how you can solve them. So that's why I really like the spin selling methodology, because it allows you to really break that down and find out as much as you can about them, their situation, their problems, and then you can use that information to show them how you can solve their problems. So when we talk about building relationships, I'm going to break all three of these down. We're talking about value, and being 100% interested in them. Like, how interested in them can you be? How much can you care? And the way that you show that you're interested is by legitimately 100% listening to everything that they're saying. Not just listening so that you can sell them, but listening and actually being empathetic to their problem, to how you can solve them. And so as we were at this gym grand opening, in the very, very beginning, we had the mindset that we were going to sign people up for memberships. And when the business coach came and said, do not do that, you're making a huge mistake, we all changed our mindset to being coaches, to being consultants, to asking people questions on the front end of spin, so their situations and their problems, and then offering them value based on that. Little things that they can do. Come to a free class, for an example. Here's some things that we can provide value for you first. And that was a huge difference when people walk in the door and we'd go to greet them. That was the mindset. So did you move into the building? Are you new to the area? What gym do you currently work out to? What are some of the problems that you're facing? Why are you here? Like, what are some of the solutions that you're looking for? Oh, well, I'm trying to lose weight here. I have a competitive competition coming up and I want to get stronger, or whatever that they were saying. We were more focused on that. And then after they'd share that with us, we would give them a free kind of value, whether that was a free class, or it was a free one-on-one. And then it would be like, hey, well, we got tacos over here, we got drinks over here. Get yourself a taco, have a drink, meet some of the members. And then it was all about having fun, creating a fun environment, showing them what we're about, showing them who we are, not trying to force people into doing things when they're not even sure if this is something that they truly want. So that was a massive mindset shift, and it changed in that 10-minute period. It literally changed. I could feel the vibe in the room legitimately change because we weren't focused on memberships. We were focused on the people there. And this for me was this is something that I've always talked about. This is something that I've always done, but I lost sight of it because of, all the things that happen. And this is what happens to all of us. We lose sight of what really matters sometimes, especially if you own your own business, and you just lose sight of really what matters. And what matters is helping people get from where they are right now to where they want to go, whatever your product or service is. So that's the building relationships piece. The selling piece is about bringing out the implications if they don't resolve their issue. So they shared with you their situation. They've shared with you their problem. What happens as a result of them not solving that problem? What happens in their life? So for an example, because this is really easy, everybody understands it. If a girl comes in and she says, I need to lose stomach weight. It's really bad right here. I've got to lose this. It's embarrassing. What happens if you're unable to do that? What happens if you don't come to a gym? What result? What happens? Diabetes? You don't get to go on, you don't actually get to meet the man or the woman of your dreams because they're not attracted. What implications are a result of you not solving their problem? And if you can bring that out, that is selling. Talking to somebody and saying, here's our benefits, here's our features, blah, blah, blah. That's the worst thing that you can do, because it's going to go right in one ear and right out the other. That is the absolute opposite of what you should be focusing. The 100% major goal of selling, and I'm going to blow your mind right now, is getting them to sell you. If you can get them to sell you on why they should use your product or your service, you have won. You have won the conversation, and you have truly have a product or a service that can 100% help them, and they're telling you. If you tell them the benefits, the features, it's like one ear out the other. But if they say it to you, it is gold. That is the only thing that matters, is if they say it to you. If you say it to them, it does not matter. It just does not matter. So that is the old way of doing things. It will work sometimes, but it'll never be consistent. So as you're finding out about them, so how do we do that? How do we get them to sell you? That's probably what you're thinking right now. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, what does that even mean? How do I do that? And so the way to do that is to ask them the right questions. So once they've told you your situation, once they've told you your problems, this is where having a great website, having a great social media presence, and having great reviews is going to sell for you. That's the bottom line. Whether they're coming into your business, whether they're finding you online, whether you're connecting with them through social media, having a good presence is everything. Having great videos, having great content, having great blog posts, having great reviews on Yelp, on Google Maps, on your website, on whatever platform, excuse me, whatever platform that you have, having great reviews is what's going to sell them, what's going to show them, prove it. People can say we have all these things. People can say we've done all these things, but prove it, prove it, prove it. And then you ask them the questions. Okay, so if we don't solve this problem, there's potentially an opportunity that you may get diabetes. Like that's their implication, right? So ask them the question, very, very simple question. So how do you see coming here based on all you've seen, the reviews, this, whatever, if you're inside a place, based on what we have here, based on the product that we have or the service that we have, how do you see this solving, keeping you from getting diabetes? And then zip and just shut up and let them sell you. Let them tell you. So as I'm going through this, if you want, we can talk through one or two of your situations. Share an implication that your clients may have in the comments, and let's talk about questions that you can use to get them to sell you. Because I'm telling you, if you do this and people start selling you, you will never have to sell again. You will never have to sell again, and you can build the platform to do this in any environment. So that's literally the selling. So the building relationships. You have the selling, and then let's talk about the closing. So this is where everyone says, you can go and read books on, Grant Cardone has books on all this selling phrases closing phrases and all these different closes and all this stuff. It's wrong. In my opinion, it is wrong. And we will never use closes ever. Because first of all, people know what they are and people see right through that. So all these closes and closing statements and this and that is never going to work, and you're going to piss people off, and it just doesn't work. So here's the question that you ask. Once they've sold you. Very simple. And you got to kind of customize this for you. But so how do you feel my service, and I just wrote this down. So how do you feel your service, your product will help you achieve that, whatever that is? So weight loss, muscle gain, and your thing, make more money, whatever, save money. And then again, just zip it. Once they've shared with you that, then you say, hold on, let me pull it up here because I got a certain one. Perfect. So let's say you have packages, you have different things. So what package will help you achieve your goals the fastest? And then shut up. Don't say anything and just let them tell you. Now, they're going to have objections, and we'll do that in another video. They're going to have reasons potentially why they can't. But if you did this right, if you built the relationships right, if you went through the selling process right, they're going to have no choice. Remember, this is all qualified. We said this in the beginning. These are qualified people. Most of the time, they're going to have no choice but to pick one. And that's closing. That's it. We're not going to say all these forms of payment, all this other stuff, the Benjamin Franklin close, all these different closes out there. What package will help you achieve your goals the fastest? And zip it and just let them tell you. Perfect. That's it. Like literally, that is it. So this weekend was a huge eye-opener for me because even though we could have went through this process, I think sticking with the relationship building first in this atmosphere, in this environment, shared so much information with me about everything, my speaking business, real estate investing, the gym. Like this was so big, so critical that this literally will change your mindset and your approach to the way that you communicate with your qualified prospects. There's no doubt about it. And I'm telling you this, just based on results from this weekend, because we did that, the atmosphere was different. People wanted to do it, and we didn't have to sell anybody. So, that's all that I have. That's literally all that I have here. And to share, if you weren't able to see this from the beginning, because I can't see how many people are on, I could see comments. If you weren't able to see this from the beginning, right when this live is done, rewatch it from the beginning, because the steps in this process have to be taken in order and have to be done the right way, or it's not going to work. The bottom line, conceptually, because I think the concepts are more important than anything, because you can use this in any industry. Conceptually, if you focus on their problem, and then they can share with you based on your environment, your business, your online presence, they can sell you why. You will never have to sell again, and you'll never have to do all these hard closes again, because it'll all be done for you. They will do it for you. And now you have somebody who's driven, who's excited to move forward, and isn't going to refund, isn't going to want to do all these other things. So that's all that I have. See if I have any questions here. Madeline, what's up? Emily, what's up? Eve Jeanette, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yes, you made it. Awesome. Cool. So I do not see any other questions here, or no one put an implication. I'm surprised. But that's what I have. I think this is literally like it's mind altering and changing, and super exciting. So I hope this helped you out, and I will see you guys tomorrow, unless I am in the hospital, but I will see you guys then. Have a great Monday.